Hello, Mitch Stott from Down and Locked Electric Retract Conversions. We're most well known for the fact of taking the customer's pneumatic retract and converting it to electric operation. Our core business started at that 6 years ago, and we've developed a very firm foundation, a good customer base with 100% customer satisfaction and dependability. With our electronics business and knowledge that we have in this, we have branched out into some other areas of the RC hobby to make the modeling easier and more dependable. Starting with ignition killing, opto kills, ignition switches, and ignition battery eliminators, down to our twin sync, which is a twin engine synchronizing system to make those run in harmony as they should while in flight. From this, we developed what we refer to as the Flight Commander system. And what this allows you to do is to take any radio on the market. It can be any well-known brand. It doesn't have to be a computer radio or any of that, but we allow you to take simple products, inexpensive radio equipment, and move it into a complex field if needed. We do that with starting with our battery commander, which will utilize the redundancy of a 2-battery system. We can use any battery chemistry, doesn't matter what that is, and it can be any voltage as long as the 2 batteries are of the same voltage and chemistry. First thing we do is come into the battery commander with dual batteries. We give you LED battery charge indication, and we monitor these batteries. If one battery has a higher voltage than the other due to uneven charging, then we will pull from the high volt battery first until it matches the other, then pull from those batteries evenly in a discharge. If you have a battery that fails, shorts out, we will notice that, take it off the line so that it doesn't discharge the other battery or damage it while in flight, ultimately causing the loss of the aircraft. From this system here, you can have 2 battery input and you can have up to a 5 battery output, meaning if you need to go in various directions with power needs. You don't have to have all the Y harnesses off of batteries and things anymore. And with that, now we come to the radio receiver, and in this case you're looking at a 7-channel radio receiver, 7-channel output. We come from here and we go into our Flight Commander, which would be more commonly termed as a motherboard situation. And here we split these 7 channels down into 1 signal wire. So this is all, we can control up to 7 channels with 1 wire. We can go up to 14. In this case, we're doing 7. All right, so now we've got our signal under control. Now we're going to look at our battery power. We bring in like a high voltage or a high amperage battery supply lead to this module, which feeds the servos directly. The power is no longer drawn through your receiver, which makes your receiver safe and protected from overload or burnout, which again would cause the loss of the aircraft. But once we get to the servo end of this, this is where the real magic of the system is. If you have any number of servos, you program this board. You no longer program the radio. That's why it will work with any system, and it'll work with an inexpensive radio, is because the computer is now built into the airplane, not the radio. You can take any servo, any number of servos, and put on any channel. It can have 10 servos on channel 1 if you need that. And in doing so, you can now do servo matching, servo reversing, endpoint adjustment, servo speed, servo differential. The list goes on and on with what the capabilities are. Now, what does that mean to the customer? That means that he can set up his airplane in a precise manner, which causes the servos to work efficiently and not run in a bind, which would cause damage to the servo as well as excessive battery drain. And it allows you to set the airplane up to where it flies flawlessly in the sky it was intended to do from the manufacturer. All we've done is made it easier for the customer to set up his airplane no matter what the experience level is. If this system would be more than would be needed as far as for the type of airplane or airframe that you have, then you could take, say you just needed to do an aileron and a flap, and you needed to be able to program servos without the need for buying a programmable servo again. Then you would take your receiver, any two channels that you're wanting to utilize, go from here straight into this flat boss board, and then you have the same flexibility of adjustment on these servos as you would have on the other system. And that means that you can make the servo reverse, any direction, servo matching, endpoints, speed, and if you needed, say, 7 aileron servos in just one flap, then you can divide it up in the system. And what we mean by that, you can put any number of servos on any channel. You can mix it and match it to whatever your airframe requires. And that was the core development of this product, was to be able to match this up, the customer to be able to match this to any need that he has. We've even presented the Flight Commander Challenge. And what that means is, or states is, if you can come up with a scenario in which this system is not adaptable to your airframe or to your needs, then the system is free of charge. We will give you one. And it's just that flexible. But anyway, Mitch Stott and Ron Word of Down in Lock, Ron Word actually being electronics and one of the designers on this product, we'd like to thank you for the time and have you come and take a look at our website, www.downinlock.com, and you'll find any and all information on this. Thanks much.